So now we'll see leafy vegetables. Okay. So coming to leafy vegetables, there are very few number of leafy vegetables and there are very less amount of content that you have to remember when it comes to leafy vegetables. Major vegetables being the amaranthus, spinach. And these two are very important. After that, you go for coriander. Minute questions will be asked. Just how much amount of how active compound is present, what is the percentage, what type of pollination it occurs in it, they are self-pollinated or cross-pollinated. They will not ask what is the seed rate. In case of amaranthus is very 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 important, 1.5 to 2 kg. That is that is asked for 100 times in 100 papers, I believe. And in spinach and all, seed rate is not important, but amaranthus, it is very important. There are very limited number of questions that can come from leafy vegetables. Just before you start the crop, and when you open the book and you see, oh my god, these many pages are there, first you do not have to just get scared of any crop. You need to simplify it and read. You need to simplify as much as possible. In leafy vegetables, if you do, that's the reason I tell you to do objective questions every day. If you do daily objective questions, you will get to know what type of questions are asked from leafy vegetables. Then you will know, okay, only a limited number is enough. You need not read fully and like a buffalo every day the same content, which actually is not important for exam. So coming to the leafy vegetables, we all know why leafy vegetables are very important. They are first of all very quick growing, very easily growing, like 45 days you get the yield. Very less number of space is required. High dry matter is obtained, and nextly they are nutritionally very rich source of vitamin A and other many minerals. So and the recommended consumption of daily leafy vegetables, not only leafy vegetables but tuber vegetables and important vitamins like vitamin A daily uptake requirement. So some important daily cereal requirement. These are all important points that you have to learn. Like when you're reading for leafy vegetables, you have to once write down their only tuber vegetables, cereals, what is the rate of consumption, the daily consumption required. And mostly leafy vegetables are a rich source of iron. And next is, so many other important quality related nutrients are also available, like calcium, iron, phosphorus and potassium. Okay. So vitamin A content of greens vary from variety to season as well. Even season influences the mineral content. The agronomic practices, how you cultivate it. If you don't give proper irrigation to it, if you don't give proper minerals and nutrients to it, like you don't give proper NPK to it, the content of the other important nutrients within the plant also determines. So it is very important how you grow the crop also. Okay. So, and vitamin A content generally varies from 2000 to 12,000 international units. So folic acid is also very important. In which crop is folic acid present? So it is already present in the slide itself. Folic acid, which is present in not only in beetroot, but also in spinach. So beetroot is also a seed ball, spinach is also a seed ball. So this folic acid or folate content is abundantly found in spinach compared to other leafy vegetables. And we know some other Romania is a type of lettuce, so which is rich in vitamin C. This is kale. This is another type of kale. Generally, I have already shown you the normal kale that is grown in India, but this is a little wrinkled. So this is kale. And spinach, we all know this is very similar. It looks like this only. And arugula is one of the minor leafy vegetable. So what are the cool season leafy vegetables? These are cool season leafy vegetables. So palak, spinach, lettuce, celery, leek, asparagus, rhubarb, sea kale, endive and chicory. Whereas the minor leafy vegetables are orac, chard, kale, mustard and collard. And what is more important, scientific name, chromosome number are very important for all the crops. And in here especially palak, spinach, lettuce, leek, asparagus are important. Others scientific name is enough. Nothing more questions will be asked from these minor or other leafy vegetables like chicory, endive. Just a scientific name you need to remember properly. So nutrition, this and all is not important for you, but celery is a very good source of sodium. You remember, celery is a very good source of sodium. Celery, sodium, like that you can remember. And nextly, which vegetable is specifically, I have already mentioned, whatever is specific, you have to remember that. Coming to the quality aspects, like leafy vegetables are very much prone to the dehydration. A lot of surface area is present, so because of high surface area, dehydration or respiration occurs in it, so it becomes very easily wrinkled and it becomes tapered and it becomes very dry. So maintaining the quality aspect of leafy vegetables is very important. And what type of cooling is done? We all know pre-cooling. What is pre-cooling? Pre-cooling is nothing but to remove the field heat. From after harvesting, you cannot directly go and put in the fridge. The field temperature will be different, and in field the physiological activity means it is still in growth period. Suddenly you stop the growth by harvesting, and keeping it in fridge will deteriorate the quality of the fruit, vegetable, whatever it is. So what you do to get into an equilibrium, you wantedly harvest and you keep for a period called pre-cooling, where you remove the field heat from the crop. Generally, if you this is generally mostly curing or pre-cooling. You can also call, both are mostly same, curing and pre-cooling, where you are just getting the physiological activity into the plant. But the main difference is in pre-cooling, the name itself says cooling, so you're getting doing it in cool temperatures, whereas in curing, there is no need that you have to do in cool temperatures. So pre-cooling, generally, which type of pre-cooling is done for leafy vegetables? So you have to read integratedly, pest management, insect manage sorry disease management, or post harvest. All of these things you are studying in relation to vegetables, right? So you have to have an integrated approach. So what type of cooling is done? Vacuum cooling, pre-cooling method is followed. Why? Because you cannot directly put in water. If you put in water and cool them, what will happen? The leaves and all will take water in between them, and you cannot wipe each and every leaf, which is a time taking process, and also the leaves will tear. So, and if you do put in water and pre-cool them and then you go for storage, there is a chances that rotting can occur. So vacuum cooling, which is nothing but it is in vacuum, cool air. It's vacuum means no air actually, but a small, like it's like air only. So a cool air will come and it will lower the temperature of the leafy vegetables. You can, if you search in internet, there you can see the images of how vacuum cleaning is done. In YouTube also you can see how images, like how it is done. So maintaining the quality is somewhat difficult because the tissues are very tender and unprotected. They are like unprotected. See, in brinjal and all, there is a peel is there, tomato and all peel is there. There's a protection, but here there is no protection. And high surface to volume ratio. They can ask a question: why high respiration rate is there, or why means high surface area, that is called as high surface to volume ratio. Okay. Mm. Nextly, coming to the color, color is also one of the quality characters, not only in case of leafy vegetables, but also for each and every fruit and vegetables. There is a quality. Color is one of the most important quality character. We see the color and we buy the fruit or vegetable, right? So for self blanching, like celery and chicory, the desired color is golden white color. So golden white. So you can take 2 points. One is celery and chicory also blanching occurs, or blanching is done, and nextly, golden color or white color is preferred color of those vegetables. You can take 2 points from here. And nextly, so red cabbage, chicory, and some other varieties of lettuce are partially red. So red color is due to the presence of anthocyanins. Here also you can take 2 points, that chicory and some in chicory also other varieties are little bit red in color, and the red color in these vegetables is due to the presence of anthocyanins. You can take 2 points from here. And coming to texture, means how crisp the vegetable is. The texture is also a quality character. So this harvesting should be done in optimum time. And rapid cooling, I have already mentioned that pre-cooling or rapid cooling is required to remove the field heat. Nextly, size and shape, flavor, these are like we have the determined shape. Not for leafy vegetables, it's not so important, but in case of bhendi, in case of chili, the export size is very very important. What is the export size of bhendi? It is 6 to 8 centimeters. What is the export size of chili? It is 5 to 6 centimeters. So these sizes are very very important, and these sizes you can see in post harvest section. So try to read. You are already in January, read as much as early possible. And coming to the lettuce, which is Lactica sativa. I have already covered lettuce when I came to the coal crops section, right? In coal crops, cauliflower is remaining. I still remember. I'll complete that. So scientific name is Lactica sativa. I'll just rush this crop and we'll continue with other crops very slowly, which is Compositaceae. And yeah, here you have to remember that generally we read lettuce with coal crops, but the family is Compositaceae. Very, very, very important. This was asked in the state entrance exam, and I put the answer coal crops because I was very much habituated of reading lettuce in coal crops, but it is not coal crop, it is Compositaceae. Okay. So what are the other crops of Compositaceae? There are very few vegetable crops or edible crops in Compositaceae. So you need to know what are those crops. Very few. It is a homework for you, but whatever homework I give you, don't do. You have, nobody has put what is the foundation seed, certified seed, nothing they have put, and now also nothing, nobody will put. It is up to you. I am just telling you to read. If you don't read, it is your karma, not my fault, right? Okay, chromosome number is 2n equals to 18, and origin is Mediterranean region, and the edible part is called as leafy heads, means you can eat leaves also, and the loafy head that is formed because of leaves also. I have also given classification of lettuce in the previous PPT that I have discussed. No need of reading the uses. These are very common uses, no specific use. Vitamin E, vitamin C, leave it. And other important characters, this is also not so important. And coming to the botany, which is important because it is a Compositaceae, its fruit is an achene. That is important. Okay, what was the fruit of other coal crops? It was Siliqua, but it is a Compositaceae family member. The flower fruit will be a achene. Okay, that is important. And it is highly cross self-pollinated crop, where we read with other coal crops. What are coal crops? Highly cross-pollinated crops due to the presence of protogyny and self-incompatibility. But here it is a self-pollinated crop, and inflorescence is a head or capitulum, which is a characteristic feature of the family Compositaceae, head or capitulum. So these are the important points, like lettuce is a head or capitulum, self-pollinated crop, and fruit type is achene. So these kind of small things you have to remember when it comes to leafy vegetables. You need not remember what other breeding methods, that this is not required in these crops. These are very simple, and you can just go. And the species are derived from the ancestor. This you can call as ancestor is Lactuca seriola. Ancestor is Lactuca seriola. And this is the image of Lactuca seriola, which is also called as prickly lettuce. You can see these are very like pinnately looking, these are prickly lettuce, it is also called. And sorry, Lactuca seligna is similar to seriola. And these are generally all the wild species are sources of resistance. Why? So wild species are sources of resistance. Why not the cultivated ones? Means here you can see for the survival of the fittest, means nobody has put any pesticide, nobody has put any fungicide, nothing has been done, but still it survives. Means it means that it has that resistance since ages, that it has been surviving. Other lettuces, other types of lettuces, other hybrids, everything which are in the nature are dying, but this did not die. Why? Because it has that resistance in it. So this is nothing but whatever you see today are still, means which are not man-made but still natural, means they will be a source of resistance because they are naturally existing till day without any application of any other fungicide or pesticide or anything. So they are a source, and generally that's the reason wild ones are called as sources of resistance. And Lactuca seligna is also one of the source of resistance. Okay. Next is Lactuca virosa, very, 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 very important source of resistance in case of lettuce. Lactuca virosa. So nextly, it is includes biennial as well as annual forms. Leave it. And crisp head lettuce, I have already discussed the different lettuce types for you. Butterhead lettuce, cos or romaine lettuce, and leaf or bunching lettuce. You can just see the images. Coming to celery, celery is like which is celery lettuce or celtuce, which is a cross actually. It is so celery lettuce or celtuce. So we can see here where celery and lettuce, two terms are come together. And the vegetable also looks some kind of celery type stem is there, lettuce type of leaves are there. So celtuce is not grown in, it is a thick stemmed vegetable that is grown in United States and Europe. Coming to palak, palak scientific name, you have to know the difference that palak is different from that of spinach. So palak is called as Indian spinach, which is Beta vulgaris variety bengalensis, and the family is Chinopodaceae, whereas spinach is completely different. And you can see here the image, that is Chinopodaceae 2n equals to 18, and it is called Indian spinach because its in origin is Indochina and the edible parts are leaves. So we know the other uses, that's not important, but leaves contain low amount of oxalic acid, and that is 9.5% of oxalates, whereas this oxalic acid content is very much high in case of spinach. But compared to normal spinach, Indian spinach has low oxalic acid content. On the other hand, it is rich source of vitamin A and C, so you need not remember that. So here nutritive value is being given, which is not so important, you need not remember. Coming to the botany, again, you have very important, inflorescence is a raceme, and other parts of the leaves and all, you can just see the plant and you can see that it has entire margin, it has long petioles. These are all you yourself know, leaves will come very succulent and rosette. If you look at the plant itself, you will know. Herbaceous annual to harvest as leaf, and biennial for seed production. Not only this leafy vegetable, all the leafy vegetables are annual for harvest, means you will harvest when 40-45 days, but if you want seed production, you will let it grow, no? So it becomes a biennial, it is growing for the second season as well. So that it becomes biennial for flowering. What is important point in case of this slide, that it is inflorescence is a raceme, and it is annual for harvest and biennial for seed production. And other things are not important, leave it. So coming to cultivars, lettuce I wantedly did not cover other cultivars also. The previous slide it has been done, but for cultivars, sorry, for palak, so all green is a variety of IARI. You may think, oh, pusa should be there. No, why pusa is not there? Why it is not pusa all green? It is only all green. What happens is these are uh, after you get introduced, you will introduce few of the varieties or cultivars from other countries. So what you do, you cannot directly give in India saying you grow this variety, it has been, we have brought from, we have introduced. So there are 4 quarantine steps. If you sing BD sing there, they will give 4 quarantine steps. What are the different steps from which how a variety is introduced to the country? Leave about that, that is not our concept today. So when some variety has been introduced, it will go for varietal trails. That varietal trails will be conducted all over India in few of the research stations or institutes. After its trials, you will see, because directly whatever is brought will not be given to, if you bring from Europe, it will means it is for cool temperatures, it is accustomed for that particular temperature, it is not accustomed for 30 degrees 40 degrees that prevail in India. So what you do, but that is highly resistant variety, that is a good quality variety, we want that. So you will bring those seed, you will grow in variety trails in all over India in few institutes and research stations. After you grow, you will go for selections, means those lines, because of the environmental variations, will perform differently. When they perform, what you will see, which variety or which lines are performing better under Indian conditions, which is tolerating higher 30-35 degrees temperature. Then you will go and select within that introduced variety, and then you will release it. So hence the names will not be containing a pusa all green. Why? Because it is not developed from IRI. It is what you call, it is been selected. So that in such cases, you generally do not get the names of the institutes in front of it. In generally, that is the concept. So all green, jobner green, you have to remember this very much important. Spontaneous mutant population, and average yield is 250 to 300 quintals per hectare. And Pusa palak, which is obtained between a cross of Swiss chard and a local palak. And Pusa jyoti, which is a polyploid variety produced using 2% colchicine. And Pusa harit, which is a cross between sugar beet and local palak. So all this which I have mentioned here are very, 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 very important. No option, you have to remember all the six. All green is introduced and developed from IRA. Jobner is a spontaneous mutant. Pusa Palak has a cross. Pusa Harita has a cross. Harit has a cross. And Pusa Jyoti has also a speciality of being polyploid in nature because of the use of 2% colchicine. So everybody has one or the other important different method to be derived. That's the reason each and every variety of cultivar, actually we should not say variety, every cultivar of this palak is very important, you have to remember. And what is the difference between a variety, a cultivar and a hybrid? I want this answer also, but I know you nobody will answer because everybody is very busy. They are doing ELPs, they are doing raves, they are doing, they are very busy at home. I am very free. I was very free when I was doing BSc fourth year. No, I mean I was also very free when I was doing JRF or SRF. When you take time, it will come. If you think you are doing ELP, you are not doing Prime Minister ka job. You are doing ELP, you are doing RAVE, that's it. We have also done, we have also read. It is up to you. Making reasons and not reading is up to you. It is your personal choice. Next is Banerjee is Jain. Here also there is a cross, so you have to remember local palak into beetroot. And other Panth composite is important. You can remember Panth composite because it is resistant or it's not resistant. What is the difference between resistant, tolerant, and immune? You have to know. And Panth composite one is tolerant to Cercospora leaf spot. So this is also an important point. Other HS 23, palak number 51, this is not important. Leave it. So Panth composite one and Banerjee's Jain is important here. Coming to spinach, which is also called as Vilayati palak. So palak was called as Indian palak or Indian spinach. Spinach is called as Vilayati palak. So spinach के लिए common name में palak आता है, palak के लिए common name में Indian आता है. That's a different thing. Okay. Scientific name is Spinacia oleracea, family is Chenopodiaceae, and chromosome number is 2 and equals to 12. Origin in Iran and edible part is leaves. So, coming to the uses, same uses, it is but having high oxalic content. This is the very, that's the reason if you have kidney stones, they say don't eat tomato, don't eat spinach, because it has very high amount of calcium oxalates, which requires very more amount of water to digest. And if you don't, already you're not drinking water, so you got stones in the kidney, and if you eat such undigestible things, then it will become very difficult. That's why they ask to avoid tomatoes and spinach because of the presence of calcium oxalates. Like buddhu ke tarah, we should not, if somebody has got kidney stones, they have told not to eat tomato and spinach. You are reading vegetables, but you don't know why they have told not to eat. It is the contents in it, and what the content it is, that is calcium oxalates and oxalic acid content, which is very much more compared to other leafy vegetables. But it is very healthy because it's also a rich source of vitamin A. And coming to the normal nutritive value, this is not important. Coming to botany, you might have seen the palak, spinach, not palak, spinach. Be very careful while using the words. You might have already used spinach leaves, and they, how they look, so not so important. But similarly, like any other leafy vegetable, it is annual for leaf production and biennial for flowering. These points can come in assertion reasoning, like annual for leaf production, biennial for flowering kind of things. Okay. And the flowers are born in clusters and staminate, pistillate, or hermaphrodite. Means here sex expression in palak is sex expression in spinach is very, 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 very important. How many sex forms are there in spinach? So they are very important. There are generally 5 types of sex forms in spinach, and what are those sex forms and how they are represented. The sex form is representation is also very important. So generally the flowers are born in clusters, and flower can be a male flower, can be a female flower, or can be a hermaphrodite flower. So three forms of flowers can form, but there are 5 different sex forms. Sex forms means complete plant ka sex kya hai, how do you determine? In a plant you can form 3 types of flowers, but ultimately what sex of the flower it is, plant ka sex forms are 5 types. Okay, coming to the seed cultivars. If you come to here, there is a classification: prickly seeded and round seeded on the basis of leaf, smooth leafed and savoy leafed. Savoy is nothing but wrinkled. Okay, so based on the seed production, 2 types are there. Based on the leaf type, there are 2 types. And Virginia Savoy, they coming to the cultivars. So Virginia Savoy is a prickly seeded cultivar, blistered, and this is Virginia Savoy is very important. You have to remember that. And early smooth leaf is also a important cultivar. Generally, not Indian cultivar, no Indian cultivars you can find here. There are only other foreign cultivars that we have mentioned here, introduced varieties, sorry, introduced cultivars. So if why I am saying variety and then sorry cultivar, you have to know the difference between cultivar, variety, and hybrid. Then you will know. Next, this will be present in BD Singh, Pundan Singh, this difference you can just check out. So celery, which is the scientific name is Epium graveolens, and family Umbelliferae. Family chromosome number itself is very important for leafy vegetables. So chromosome number is 2n equals to 22. Origin Asia, and edible part is leaf. And coming to the uses, so if you come to the uses, that is very common, that is vitamin A content rich, and generally used as a condiment. Remember, it is a condiment. Okay, it is a condiment. And what is the difference between a spice and condiment? I ask 100 questions, but nobody will answer anything. Okay. So what is the difference between spice and condiment? You first read that. And if you are from PSMA department, they will pakka ask you this question. First question in any viva will be, what is this difference? And it is a seed condiment. Leaf is not a condiment. Seed condiment. Seed is used as a condiment. And nextly, leaves are more nutritious than the stalks. That is also a point. Like leaves are more nutritious than the stalk, and it is a seed condiment. It is, how many times I'm telling a point ko I'm telling 3-4 times. Again, taking the book and reading the point will be your foolishness. You should complete it here only. Next, these are the nutritive values. And coming to the botany, if anybody hasn't seen the leaves, you can see here. So seeds are small, brown, slow germinating. Yeah, celery seeds, for 1 gram, celery seeds are very small, and the weight of the seed is very, 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 very less. In 1 gram, 1027 number of seeds will come. This is a very important question. You can see in 100 objective books what is the how many seeds will come in 1 gram in celery is a very important questions. You can find it in many books. So you have to remember that also. And the flowers are small, white, borne, and compound umbel. Why? Because it is a umbelliferae. The flower will be an umbel. And biennial, sometimes annual. Okay. Coming to cultivars, so this is celery. We have initially also in the first slide I have mentioned when I was talking about quality characters that it is also a blanched, self blanching variety. And there are different what do you call, different aspects, and in that self blanching or yellow cultivars are mostly preferred. So the green cultivars, green cultivar, standard bearer, right groove giant, and ford hook emperor are some of the cultivars. Okay, these are the names of the cultivars. And nextly, asparagus is one of the most important leafy vegetables only, because of there are very asparagus also we go for blanching. And asparagus is the only crop in which salt is put for the crop. Why salt is put for the crop? Generally it is for trees and all. Some people in the villages, what they will do, they will put salt. Why they are putting salt? NaCl if you put, it is a kind of stress. You are giving stress. I have already told that under stress, what plant will do, it will try to, if somebody is, generally you can walk slowly only. You will walk normally. When I put a dog behind you, you will run faster than normal. Means you have that potential, but you will not put it out until a dog runs behind you. You can read, but you will not read until exam is there, like that only. Similarly, under salt, what happens? You are giving stress. Under stress, what will happen? The performance will increase. So for not for normal vegetables and all, where scorching and all will occur, but for trees and all which can tolerate high amount of salt and which are perennial and complete slow growing, like that kind of things, in villages and all, they put salt. But that is not a recommended practice, because you are changing the pH of the soil, you are changing the microclimate around the soil for the at the roots. So that is not recommended practice. But for asparagus, it is a recommended practice. Why it is recommended, I also don't know, but it is said that it is scientifically said that you can put salt for asparagus, but not for other crops. So scientific name is Asparagus officinalis, liliaceae. Families, chromosome numbers are important. So chromosome number is 2 and equals to 20, and origin is Asia or Europe, and edible part is called as spears. Spears is nothing but young shoots. So here what asparagus is put is an ornamental asparagus. So you will not eat this asparagus at all. This is an ornamental asparagus. This asparagus, spears, or the young shoots you will be eating. Okay. Next, coming to the botany, this flower is of what flower this is? This is ornamental asparagus ka flower. But ornamental ho ya fir the edible ho, in the normal flowers only will be there. So the flower you can see here. So generally asparagus is a perennial in nature. So up to now what we have read about the leafy vegetables, that they are biennial for seed production and annual for leafy purpose. You people are listening, or you slept? Anybody?
No, ma'am, listening.
Okay. So asparagus is perennial in nature, and it's a dioecious herb. Dioecious means, what is monoecious, what is dioecious, what is hermaphrodite, what is gynodioecious, what is trimonoecious. These are all sex forms. You have to read. You have to know what form means, what sex anta. And nextly, these are very important when it comes to cucurbits. What are the different sex forms present? There are total 7 sex forms present. So somebody will generally come and ask, what are the sex forms? Means you should not count hermaphrodite, staminate, pistillate. You should not count. It is 7. And nextly, in case of cucurbits, and nextly, what is dioecious? Means male and female. Di means 2. No, eicious means body. Eicious means body. Monoecious. Mono means 1. Eicious means body. Monoecious means one body. One body only has male and female flowers in it. Dioecious means, di means 2, eicious means body. No, so 2 bodies means one male body, one female body. Like that, you have to know the meaning of the word and learn. Then you will never forget. And so asparagus is perennial dioecious herb. Male and females are on different plants, which can grow up to 1 to 3 meters tall. That you remember, 1 to 3 meters tall it can grow. So it can grow taller than me. So like that you have to remember. So the roots are tuberous. All different points are present here. Generally all the leafy vegetables are tap root system. All up to now what we have covered are tap root system, but this has tuberous root system. And needle like leaves, leave it. Nah, that's not important. That's for ornamental. Male flowers are generally yellowish green, and with while female flowers are very small. Male flowers se bhi small flowers are female flowers. And okay, nextly the fruit color they will ask. For me in exam they asked, the berry, it's a berry, fruit is a berry, and what is the color of the berry and size of the berry they asked. So it will be 1 to 1.5 centimeters size red color berries will be there on the fruit. Okay, so green asparagus is generally used for fresh market purpose, and when you blanch the asparagus it becomes white in color, and such white asparaguses are used for processing. So generally green asparagus you will take for market. If you blanch it, if you cover the spears, if you blanch it while growing, then it becomes white in color. So that white asparagus is used for processing. So next is rhubarb. When you come to rhubarb, so which is also called scientific name is Ruhium repanaticum. So what happened? There was a teacher. There was a teacher for us who was of some other department, and he was sent for us to teach vegetables. And that fellow did not know what is rhubarb. Such a waste people also become teachers. Now I am scolding my own teacher. Why? Because he did not know what is rhubarb itself, and he's coming to teach vegetables for us. Similarly, that's the reason why I tell you, you read the basics and other things also. Somebody will come and ask you a question. If you don't answer it, they will tell what BSc they have done, what MSc they have done. ऐसे निकाल के हमें फेंक देंगे. जैसे मैं अपने ही टीचर को निकाल के फेंक दे रही हूँ, उसे रुबा भी नहीं पता वो क्या क्लास बताएगा. That's the reason you have to improve or increase your value through your subject only. Read properly. So scientific name is Ruhium rapanaticum, and the family is Polygonaceae, and chromosome number is 2n equals to 44. Origin has not been mentioned, and edible part is the petioles and leaves also, actually the petioles, which is used for caning mostly. Coming to the botany, so it is a protandrous in nature. What is protandrous? Spelling is wrong. Protandrous in nature, actually these ppts are not made by me. I will be collecting ppts and adding material, or actually all 90% of the ppts that I'm presenting are from my MSc itself. These are all my MSc content is this much. You have to know how much you have to work. This is very less. There are people, my seniors and all, if you see, you will get heart attack. So much of material they have collected, they have kept for IARS exam. So much of notes they have prepared. I am nothing before them. I feel so bad that how much hard work they have done. Many people are reading here at IR below. So many people, like how much notes they have. And you expect rank without reading, without hard work is very wrong. Read properly. Protaandrous, pro means prior, androus means andrecium matures first, means the male part. So it male matures prior to the female. That is protandrous in nature. So that is rhubarb is protandrous in nature. Stem is hollow and has conspicuous nodes, not required. Leave it. Next here, what is important here is it is a herbaceous perennial again with the underground portion which woody rhizomes. Okay, woody rhizomes and fibrous root stem. So it has very fibrous and woody rhizome. And it is a perennial in nature. Here you can see it is also having some bulged modified stem kind of root, whereas in asparagus also it has a modified kind of root, that is tuberous root. Okay. Coming to sea kale, scientific name is Cramp maritimia. Family is Cruciferae, and propagated through seeds or cuttings. So generally it is grown for its leaves and shoots, and the crop is harvested during the second season, which means it is a biennial crop in nature, and when it attains a length of 4 to 5 inches. When it attains a length of 4 to 5 inches tall, then you will be harvesting it. And it is harvested in the second season, means it is a biennial vegetable. That point you have to remember. And this vegetable is mostly popular in England, but and other parts of United States. Sea kale, Cramp maritima, cruciferae. Seeds are cuttings, harvested at 4 to 5 inches tall. That is enough. Endive, Chicorium endivia. Composite is a family with 2n equals to 18, and the leaves is the edible part. You can see the vegetable here in the image. Coming to the uses, nothing much uses like any other vegetable, only it is also used. And to reduce the bitterness of the leaves, generally endive is also blanched. And by blanching, you not only maintain the quality characters like color, crispness, and also the other, like if light comes, bitter compounds may be formed in few crops. So not only reducing the bitter compounds, but also improving the nutritional quality. You will avoid, means by blanching it, you are avoiding the loss of nutritional compounds from it also. Okay, it is also reducing the nutritional means you are preventing it from loss of nutritional quality. And outside leaves are green and bitter, inner leaves are light green or whitish, which are milder in taste and are less bitter. Okay. So while inside leaves are less bitter, because on exposure to light it becomes more bitter. So outer leaves are more bitter, inner ones are less exposed to light, no, so they are less bitter. And the next is chicory, which is chicory, the scientific name is Chicorium intybus, such a wrong spelling, Chicorium intybus. And what I was doing in class when they were telling this. Family is Compositaceae, 2n equals to 18. Edible part is leaves and flowers are light blue in color. You can see these are the flowers. It looks like sky, no? It is not sky, it is flower. Here you can see it's flowers, okay? Blue color flowers. And it is Chicorium intybus, Compositaceae. What was the other Compositaceae member that we read? It was lettuce. So what should be the flower of it? It should be an head or capitulum. And what should be its seed? It should be an achene. So compositaceae all will have the same characters, no? So Chicorium intybus, compositaceae, 2n equals to 18. Next, coming to the uses and all, very common, not so important, but leaves are tastiest in the spring and autumn. As the summer heat tends to increase, they become little bitter. Not only that, most of the leafy vegetables or root vegetables will become bitter when exposed to sun, even root vegetables, but not tuber vegetables. So root and leafy vegetables tend to become bitter when the sunlight shoots high. So in celery, there is an important point I forgot to tell you, that when you keep celery, it has a very much high quality characteristic of absorbing smell. Absorbing smell. If you keep chilies and cake both in the same fridge, the cake will get the smell of chili if you observe. So if you keep things in fridge which have strong smell, other things in the fridge will take the smell of the strong flavored thing, no? Similarly, celery has a very bad habit of taking smell. It takes the smell of anything. So you should be very careful when you store the celery. If in home, however, you keep, no problem. In market, if he stores in a wrong place, what happens? Consumer will not buy. He will have the strong flavor absorbed from the other vegetables or anything kept beside it. Okay. Here what why I'm telling that point here. Leaves, I have also mentioned that the leaves will become bitter. Not only leaves but also root vegetables tend to become bitter with the high summer temperatures or high heat temperatures. So they can be mixed with other greens to minimize this strong flavor. That is while eating, they mean. While consumption, you can mix it with other leafy vegetables. They he is telling that's not important for us. The roots can also be eaten. That is, the roots are baked, ground, and used as coffee substitutes and additive. So if you take a brew coffee packet and try to read the ingredients, more than coffee, there will be chicory percent, 61% or 62% chicory only will be there, Chicorium intybus. So we do not have the original coffee which we have. So we all have adulterated ones only. Why? First of all, you cannot have direct coffee. To the amount of the caffeine, we will all die that minute only. That is very strong. That's why there is a need of adulteration. And generally, most of the local things and all which we buy, or some unquality low quality ones, means high amount of chicory, 80%, 90% chicory also will be there. So take a coffee packet and try to read a backside the ingredient. Every packet definitely will contain, however good quality it is, it will contain chicory. The roots are baked, ground, and used as a coffee substituent and additive. Important point. They will ask in exams which of the following is used as an alternative or a substitute or an adulterant for the coffee. Then you have to give chicory. You can even read in coffee, if you're taking coffee and you're reading that crop, there you will see Chicorium intybus is used as an alternative or additive anta. And nextly, coming to cultivation practices, we will complete it in a stretch. Like generally, all of the crops require a neutral pH. You can see here 6 to 7 is the range. And we have, as I have already mentioned, that these are cool season vegetables, so cool climate is required. So what is the seed rate of lettuce? 1 to 1.5 kg. Palak 25 to 30 kg. Why the seed rate is more in palak? And in case of spinach, 37 to 45 kg, both spinach and palak seed rates are important. Leave that lettuce and celery. Palak and spinach, 35 to 30, 37 to 45. Both the seed rates are very, 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 very important. Irrigation normal only, you leave it. No other special intercultural operations are followed except for celery. Blanching is done. Celery blanching is done. Next, coming to the manures, not required, leave it. Coming to harvest, important. Lettuce comes to harvest in about 80 to 100 days, means it is a crop from 2 to 3 months. Whereas palak, you can take the first harvest from 45 days itself. So you can see the after up to 15 to 20 days. First cutting you can take from 20 days itself, depending upon the cultivar. So 30 days, 45 days is the first palak and spinach you can harvest. Again, celery comes to a 3 months crop. So lettuce and celery, which are not so Indian crops, are harvested at 3 months, minimum of 3 months, 90 days, 100 days, like that. But when it comes to spinach and palak, you start harvesting from the 20th day up to 45 days. Next, what are the pests? These are normal pests that occur to any leaves, but most important, because it's a leaf, it will have more succulency. The sucking pest damage like aphids, mites, and thrips will come. Next is leaf eating caterpillar. Leaf eating caterpillar is a main problem in case of any leafy vegetable. And next one is leaf miner. So whatever diseases and pests like powdery mildew, these are whatever diseases that come to the leaf part will be the major problem to the leafy vegetables, right? Very common sense. So leaf eating caterpillar, stem borer is not a problem in leafy vegetable. Common sense tells where is the stem that it will bore. So you should use your common sense when in options also, when some question is given, what is the major pest, you did not read what is the major pest, but it is given borer, means you should not go for borer. Common sense, no, like that you have to read. So aphids, sucking pest can be a major problem. Leafy caterpillars and leaf miners, so whatever that attacks the leaf. Coming to the diseases, these are very common, but mostly very important is in spinach, the rust is important. That is, you remember this, in spinach, rust and others are very common. Damping off is common, leaf spot is common, leave it. And in lettuce, you see lettuce mosaic. In lettuce you get lettuce mosaic. In spinach you remember rust. Coming to asparagus, rhubarb, endive, and chicory. Again, the light fertile, so a small, slightly acidic to neutral range is followed. And temperature, again, these are cool temperatures from 15 to 20 degrees. And what is the seed rate? A seed rate of asparagus is very, 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 very important. If you have done objective books, then you will see the whatever I'm telling important are an objective book questions. You can just take book and see. Now, the 2 to 3 kg per hectare, very important seed rate. Others are not so important, leave it, not required. And nextly, irrigation not important. Intercultural operations. So endive and chicory, thinning is practiced, and root vegetable or carrot also thinning is practiced. You know, here endive and chicory also thinning is practiced. Next, coming to nutrition, not required. Harvesting, also not so required, but you know that asparagus is perennial in nature, and March to April for asparagus harvesting is important. So March to April, the harvesting is done. That is in spring season, means when the fresh growth. What is the edible part of asparagus? It is the young spears, the fresh young spears. No, so when fresh growth will be there in the months of spring. That's the, and it is a perennial. So what most common sense tells that March and April will be its harvesting period, because it is a perennial. It will get new flush in every spring season only. So what is the spring season? March, April. Then only you can harvest the asparagus. This is the answer that comes from common sense. When you see, if you don't read also in exam, see the question. You know that it's a perennial crop. When will most of the perennial trees come to flowering? When most of the perennials comes into flowering? When the season is not so warm and it is not so cold. What is that season? That is spring season, and that is March to April. And coming to rhubarb, which is also a perennial in nature, and second and third year of the harvesting starts from second and third year. Even for asparagus also, harvest starts from second or third year itself, and continues up to 7 to 8 years. After 8th year, the life of asparagus is completed, so you will uproot it and sow a new crop. Very important. Asparagus, again I'm repeating, harvesting from March to April, spring season, common sense. Second point is, it is harvesting starts from second to third year and continues up to 7th to 8th year. And coming to rhubarb, it also starts harvest from second to third year. Whereas endive and chicory, which thinning is also practiced, we have read, no. So these are harvested within 3 months. You can just see the 3 months, that is 85 to 90 days or 100 days, that's it. In asparagus specifically, asparagus beetles are present, and others normal only, not so important. In asparagus rust is also important, because the name itself comes with the crop's name, means asparagus rust. It means the crop's name is associated with the disease, means it means that disease is more prevalent in that particular crop, means it is a specific disease. So you have to remember asparagus rust, asparagus beetle. So you have to remember that. Others, powdery mildew and all, are very common, not so important. Coming to minor leafy vegetables, the scientific name being Atriplex hortens for orac. Scientific name is Atriplex hortens. Just scientific name is enough. Family is Chinopodiaceae, and edible part is leaf. So orac is very much resistant to drought and can be grown under alkaline and saline conditions. Alkaline and saline soils. What is the pH, EC, and electrical conductivity of alkaline soils, saline alkali soils? Very important question. In instant backside pages, it will be given saline soils, alkaline soils, saline alkali soils. What is the pH, EC, and what is the other point? Electrical conductivity is EC, pH. What is the other point? Some other thing is also there. Not three you have to remember. You have to remember that. And nextly, take out instant. In last pages it will be there. You see, with soils, red soil, black soil, water, magnesium is present, iron is present. Along with that, this is also is given in the last downside of the page. You have to remember, whenever something coming, means this side, this page, this part, you have to know everything. That much you have to read if you want a rank. So it is highly resistant to drought and tolerant to saline and alkali soils. So what is the edible part of orac? Leaves, tender leaves, and upper portion of the leaves, which are continuously growing. Means it is a somewhat continuously growing. The term has come, means it is perennial in nature, and you have to remember. And chard, scientific name is Beta vulgaris variety cycla, which you can read, which you have come across when you read the beetroot. The Beta vulgaris variety cycla, which is one of the cross. It is cycla comes in one of the crosses in beetroot. Which cross I am mentioning? Go take the book and read. Take essence. Why I'm very, this is very wrong on my part that I'm telling take one book and read. That is very wrong. You should read textbook. That this I can give upadesa to you, but that upadesa is not going to work you for last 5 months of the exam. So take essence and read. Yeah, now my Jai Matadi will come telling Gloucester's is better. Gloucester's is very good book, but it has very less points compared to Essence. You really have eliminated textbooks. At least read Essence. Now coming to what is present in the crop, that large fleshy leaf stalks and last fleshy leaf stalks and broad crisp leaf blades. These two parts are we eat, that is the leaf stalks and the leafy part. And mostly pot herb is nothing but pot herb, means that is which can be grown in pot. So all the leafy vegetables are also called as pot herbs. Okay, what is pot herb means? It is not a new word. So pot, all leafy vegetables are pot herbs only, and it is also used in canning purposes. And that's it, not so important. Next, collard, which is Brassica oleracea species. So collards, you can see the leaves which are more similar like cabbage ka leaves or cauliflower ka leaves. You can see it more similar to cauliflower leaf than cabbage leaf. So it is a cold season vegetable. You can see here. And nextly, there are three methods by which, not so important for you, leave it. 1/4, not important, leave it. And here I complete the leafy vegetables, which are cool season leafy vegetables. There are warm season leafy vegetables like amaranthus, which is a very important crop, and it cannot be covered like small crops. It's a very big crop also, and very important points are present in it. So any doubts? You have read anything in this week? I will ask questions now. These 3 minutes. I will ask questions. Ready? Not on my PPT. Whatever you have read, I will ask. Nobody is ready. Everybody is in dormant state. Morning class is okay, or we will continue in the evenings? Anybody? Anuj?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
If morning classes are okay, we can continue with morning class only. And okay.
Yes, ma'am. Continue.
Okay. And nextly, what you have read in this week? Nobody will answer now because I'll ask questions now. I'm not asking questions to show that I know you don't know. I'm asking because you know that you should get to know that you have to read more. You have to work hard. I'm not. It's not for discrimination. If you feel like that, I'm really sorry. But my job is not to discriminate you. It is to make you read. That's it. Okay, Gayatri, what you have read this week? Gayatri, please unmute and tell what you have read this week. Audio problem, signal problem, internet problem, everything will come now. You can cheat me, no problem, but don't cheat yourself. If you are doing, if really there is a problem in internet, then okay. Okay, Oppo A7, I don't know who is that Oppo A7 device name. Please put your name, it will be more friendly for us to communicate, right? Oppo A7. Nobody is, my voice is not audible to anybody. Nobody is answering. Am I audible or not?
Audible.
Then Oppo A7. Who is Oppo A7? What you have read in this week? Nobody is speaking. I will definitely ask questions if you tell what you are reading, what you have read. Srishti, what you have read this week? See who? What you have read this week, Srishti? I will not ask you questions. Oh, she's speaking, but maybe it's not audible to me. Okay, it's not audible to me. I don't know what is the thing. Maybe it was audible when Danya was speaking to me. Okay, whatever. Don't cheat yourself, guys. Okay, Srishti, it's not audible to me. Don't mind. Okay. You guys read. Next class will be taken by the leap. We will see. Okay. Mostly we'll continue with morning classes. This is more friendly, you can do read and all. Don't cheat yourself. Read. Okay. All the best. I'm closing the class. It's not audible to me, Srishti. I'm sorry. Your mic is moving, but voice is not coming. Oh, there's the message. Temperate fruits. Okay, very good. You have read temperate fruits. Okay, do objective questions. If you're not doing objective questions, then there is no use of reading anything. Okay. Okay, all the best, everybody. Any doubts you can ask in group. Please post your 10 questions every day. Some people are constantly not putting the questions. No, you will read others' questions. Others are posting questions, you will read it, but you will not put questions, means that is very wrong. You should also do objectives every day. At least 300, 400 you have to do. All the best. I'm closing the class. Any doubts you can ask in the group. Okay. Bye, guys.